Clicking on the check-in will open a new tab in the software that accesses the check-in screen. When viewing the check-in screen, you have the barcode field on the top left. This field should always be active on a designated check-in computer so that clients can then scan their barcode or whatever other method of check-in you use, and it will keep a history then of check-ins that happen. If you need to search for a client, you can type in any part of their first or last name and it will give a refined list. Clicking on the client's name, you can now choose info if you just want to see information about that client without actually checking them in. Or if you click check-in, it will actually check them into the facility. Once you've brought the client up, you can see a snapshot of their status, their name, their hidden barcode number, the agreements they have in the system, their contact information, any staff member they may be linked to, a link to open their summary page, which will give you more in-depth information about this client, their personal check-in history, and then over here you'll be able to see a snapshot of their client notes. And by clicking on the link, it will open a new tab with their full note page. There you'll be able to add or edit notes. On the right, you have the check-in history for the facility, with statuses that you can link to for any individual client. And also by clicking on the client's name, it will bring them up over on the left so you can see more details about them. In this case, we can see a client that has an overdue invoice where the status is red. You can see the overdue invoice and it changes the full background to a red color and plays a chime to attract the staff's attention. There are various other statuses that will display. Here's an example of a client that has no valid agreement. An example of a client with a frozen agreement. Each status plays a different chime and has a different background color. The check-in screen is also directly linked to the calendar in that when a client checks in using their barcode, if they are booked in for a group or personal session within 2 hours of that check-in time, the system will then mark them as either having attended the group session or having completed the personal session. If the client is checked in by name rather than barcode, then that will not happen, and it will be up to the trainer to make sure that that session is recorded and given to an administrator so that they can update the status of the session from booked to completed. This is done because only their client knows the barcode number, which is why it's hidden in the system. So that barcode, in essence, acts like a signature.